Now move over to Europe, to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where 5 people were injured, including 2 children, in a Russian attack on the southern Ukraine port of Odessa overnight, according to Ukrainian authorities. Regional Governor Olev Kipir has said that a multi-story residential building and other civilian infrastructure were damaged in the attack. 6 apartments were completely destroyed, while another 36 were partially damaged. Moreover, the local emergency service said that 50 people were evacuated from the building. Meanwhile, another Russian missile strike on Poltava in central Ukraine killed 2 people and injured 11 others, as per the local media. The attack has sparked fires and damaged civilian infrastructure, according to Governor Vladimir Kohut. Ukraine's land forces also said that the strikes caused a fire at the Poltava conscription office. Moreover, according to Ukrainian media, at least 3 people were killed and 34 injured today across Ukraine in Russian drone and missile attacks. Ukraine's Air Force reported that Russia used 52 drones launched from several directions, and air defences destroyed 40 of them, including 22 shot down and 18 jammed electronically. On the other hand, Russia has captured a border village in Ukraine's northeast Kharkiv region, as per reports. This comes as Major General Mikhail Gudkov, the deputy head of the Russian Navy, has been killed in Russia's Kursk region. In Russia, UAV debris fell on a private house in the Lipetsk region, killing a woman and injuring 2 others, according to the region's governor, Igor Armatonov. Armatonov also clarified that signals about UAV debris are coming from different areas, and all of them are being immediately checked. We're now joined by our guest, Jonathan Hoffman, who's a former vice president of the Zionist Federation of the United Kingdom. Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us. He joins us live from London. Jonathan, we're seeing escalating in the fighting as peace talks, supposedly diplomatic talks, go on in the background. However, on the battlefield and also in civilian cases, in this case, doesn't stop. Do strikes on these residential buildings show that Russia is shifting tactics? And can I just get your overview on the recent events on the battlefield in the war? Thank you, Jonathan.
Yes, hello, Thomas. Well, Russia is clearly stepping up its attacks. It's a summer attack. The outlook for Ukraine, I think, has got significantly worse. You will have seen that the American administration is pausing some weapons deliveries to Ukraine. They're pausing parts for Patriot missiles, and this apparently comes from their Undersecretary for Defense, Eldridge Colby, who is a long-time critic of US policy towards Ukraine. And you know, this is very important for Ukraine, and the fact that the United States is not delivering these parts, I think, is encouraging Russian attacks on Ukraine. On the other hand, and Ukraine only produces about 40% of its own missiles, so Ukraine does rely on allies like the United States for missile deliveries. So that I think is important. On the other hand, I think the other thing to watch is the Russian economy. If it wasn't for the impact of spending on the war, I think the Russian economy would be in recession. If you look at oil and gas revenues in May, they were down 35% year on year. And that's the fault of these sanctions on Russia. As far as the negotiations go, you know, we haven't seen much sign of negotiations in recent weeks. I think Zelensky hopes that he would be treated like Netanyahu in Israel, that United States would give him the support that they've given to Netanyahu in Israel with the raid on Iran. But I think that's really very unlikely.
Yes.
And I think you know, absent pressure on Russia from the United States, strong pressure. I think this horrible situation is unfortunately set to continue after 3 years.
Jonathan Hoffman, thank you very much for your insight and joining us on the programme. We now move over to the Middle East for our next story, where tensions are escalating